Southside High School?
Nope.
Southwest.
Nope. Close.
South San?
South San. So.
No,
It's like a race to the finish.
What would you have guessed?
I guess McCullough.
No, for me.
For you, I thought you were out of town. I thought you were like
You're an out of towner?
up past the
Really?
How much time we got time?
Yeah.
This hurts. Well, good morning and welcome to KSAT's News Now, our bite-sized news program. I gotta say, I feel like we're the only people not in that open.
Don't take any offense
I'm
to
taking
it.
personal offense. And you know what? When the holidays come and everyone else takes time off, we're the ones to save the day. Look at this right here. Boom.
You guys got to redo it, Alyssa.
Save the day. So Alyssa, right there, that could be it. Put that in the...
I think my knuckle popped when
That was a
we
good
did
one.
that.
We had the sound effect and everything. Anyway, so not only are we streaming, also a podcast, which you should go listen to. KSAT Plus, KSAT.com, and on YouTube. I'm Max Massey.
Joined by me, Priscilla Karaman, and of course we do have a lot of news to get into today. First things off, you know, it's very cold. That's the big story everybody's still talking about.
I sit 7 yards, I've measured 7 yards from the entrance to the newsroom. Every time the door opens, it's not fun.
You get that breeze,
I
the
get
gust
the
of
breeze.
wind.
We need tamales here if we're going to be honest. So obviously talking about the weather, Justin's giving me a weird look in the corner of the newsroom.
That's why you use yards instead of feet.
Because it's football, Justin. It's football. Do you just want to come join us?
I guess that works.
All right. Give us the weather 101 of the day.
Trivia question. Because it's so cold, we got down to 16, by the way, this morning. Here is your trivia question. Normal body temperature is 98.6, as we know. At what core body temperature do you become hypothermic? Is it A, 95 degrees, B, 82 degrees, C, 74 degrees, or D, 57 degrees?
Ladies first.
C.
C. What do you think, Max? Don't overthink
C
it.
seems like a great answer. It does. I'll say B, just for argument's sake.
Okay. The answer is actually A.
Wow.
95 degrees. It
Wow.
just takes a little bit of that core body
We were
temperature
wrong.
to come down. So when your body temperature drops, your nervous system and your organs fail to work properly, and that's when your hypothermia kicks in. It's actually very dangerous. Hypothermia is caused by exposure to the cold, obviously, and it can happen in weather like this if you're out, especially for a long period of time with the way the wind chills were. But yeah, you're only dropping 3 degrees there, and you're already becoming hypothermic, your body. Temperatures. Right now, lows this morning, not right now, lows this morning, 16 here in San Antonio. It was 12 Brittney Stage, 12 in Kerrville, and it was 15 in Seguin this morning. So these were brutally cold numbers. And not only that, it was still windy this morning. So we had wind chill values close to 0, if not below 0 in some cases. We've made some headway here. Temperatures are trying to warm up some. We're at 24 at San Antonio International, so we've gained about 8 degrees. 22 Kingdom Lake, 21 Brittney Stage, 21 in Bandera. It's still cold, but better than it was, and that full sun is helping us, helping to bring temperatures up some. And I think we may briefly get above freezing a little bit later this afternoon. Noontime temperature around 28, then by 4 o'clock, we're shooting for 34. If we do get above freezing, it won't be for very long. So keep the pipes wrapped, keep everything in freeze mode, because we're going to be right back down there again tonight. Temperatures are forecast to drop down to 17 yet again. How about the winds? They do die down some. We're still getting some gusts, 20, 25, but I think by the afternoon, you're seeing gusts only around 15 or so, which means the winds will probably be in the 5 to 10 mile per hour range. It gets much, much better with regards to the wind. There is a deck of clouds down to our south. That's where it stays. It's actually pushing south a little bit, but places like Cotulla, Beeville, you're actually cloudy, and that may keep temperatures down a little bit there. Here in San Antonio, we are expecting full sun today. And as we look at the big picture here, you got a lot of clouds out in the Gulf of Mexico. And by the way, this is always a cool feature. When you get the really cold air moving over the warm Gulf waters, you get this kind of cloud formation. It looks like little streaks. That happens when you get this really cold, these cold air masses that make it all the way down to the Gulf. So cloudy out there. And I do want to look at the big picture. This is important because a lot of people are traveling today. There's no travel issues in Texas, especially with regards to the roads. But if you're flying out, the Northeast is not in good shape. A lot of wintry weather going on there, and then they've got rain that's going to transition over to ice potentially in some spots. So check ahead if you are flying out. Now to the Christmas weekend forecast. 17 tomorrow morning, but we're up to 41 Saturday, 22 Christmas morning, 49 for Christmas Day. It will be the second coldest Christmas morning on record if we do indeed get down to 22. So it'll be a chilly Christmas weekend, but all in all, nice if you like the cold weather.
I love it, and I do love the Santa on your graphic right there.
He's got a good wave. It's kind of like the Queen of England, but in Santa form. You know,
Or Miss America.
Miss
you know?
I like the Miss America one. Now, Justin, I do have a quick question for you. I know a lot of people this year they were worried about losing power. You've been tracking the power outages not only here locally, but in our surrounding areas as well.
Yeah, so it was not ever going to be a state grid issue. I mean, ERCOT had the power to provide, but some of the local entities, and we noticed that especially out towards Bandera, where they had to do some rolling blackouts this morning due to just need for more power. So there was a few spots. The numbers weren't huge, but anyone without power is not a good situation. Right. So we're going to continue to monitor that.
I do think that those people in Bandera, if their power went out, they probably were like, oh my God, what's happening? But
sure.
Yeah, thankfully it's not larger scale like you said.
Yeah, 2021, we all remember far too well.
Yeah, and I think that was the big fear for this one. All right, Justin, thank you so much. So a lot of news to get to today. Obviously, the weather not just impacting us locally, but this winter storm putting a dent in a lot of people's winter holidays, flights, airports seeing delays, packages and deliveries as well. I know Katrina Weber was at San Antonio International earlier this morning, and I think they had 6 cancellations, a few delays, but it wasn't necessarily the weather here. It was everywhere else. Like what we saw Justin's awesome graphic, it was the Northeast messing everything up.
Yeah, and I know yesterday Garrett Berger was at the airport. He talked to a family who was trying to get to Denver, and they had been rerouted probably 3 times. I think they went to Corpus, they went to Houston, and then they were here. So yeah, these are just impacting so many people. And according to FlightWare, there have already been more than 1,300 flight cancellations across the country today as people try to get home for the holidays. Some of the airports are experiencing some of those airports that are experiencing the most backup, they're Denver, Minneapolis, and Detroit.
Yeah, Denver, that one you were just talking about with that family. And obviously here in San Antonio, at least 10 cancellations just today. So if you are headed out for the holidays, pack your patience.
Also experiencing some delays are packages. So if you're waiting on some last minute gifts to arrive, please be patient. FedEx issued a statement today saying its hubs in Indianapolis and Memphis suffered major disruptions.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. Did you get all your Christmas shopping done? Do you have the gifts secured?
I have a couple. Oh my gosh, you put me on the spot. Like you said, I have a couple of last minute things that I got to go pick up.
Okay.
But I did do something different this year. Normally for like the grocery portion, I do wait till the last minute and then I'm freaking out at the grocery store. But I did like a delivery order and I have everything I need for that. So.
Okay, so you're smart though. So some people, they ordered. I'm one of those people. I'm waiting. I hope she's not watching. I got my girlfriend a book. It's a cool book. It's not like, hopefully it gets read regardless. UPS announcing situations saying services and regions could be affected. Their hubs in Kentucky and Illinois. I got an email saying that there could be some delays, so knock on wood somewhere it comes in time.
I sure hope so.
Yeah,
or you're going to have to do some apologizing to her.
I promise I didn't wait till the last minute. Like I ordered this a while ago. It's a whole thing.
It happens. I remember when I was not in news and I worked for a clothing company and people were crazy about their packages and they would call and they'd be like, you're ruining Christmas. I'm like, it's not us. Yeah.
Did they call you the Grinch?
No, I'm not the Grinch. Not at all.
All right, moving on. So we've been following, obviously, the January 6th committee and the latest report coming from the committee. It is out.
Yes, and it asserts that former President Donald Trump criminally engaged in, quote, a multi-part conspiracy to overturn the lawful results of the 2020 presidential election. The more than 800-page report also concludes Trump failed to act to stop his supporters from attacking the Capitol and asserts the central cause was one man and one man only, Donald Trump himself.
Now, we've been watching these committee hearings, listening to the congressional testimony over the last year and a half. They've held 10 hearings, and get this, they've interviewed more than 1,000 witnesses.
Committee members recommended 4 criminal charges to be filed against the former president. There is also a call for the 14th Amendment to be invoked to prevent anyone involved in the insurrection from running for re-election or serving in elected office ever again.
Yeah, and there's a lot more to be held. Obviously, Jack Smith, who I believe is the special prosecutor, he has to figure out if he's going to actually try to indict the former president, and this is far from done. And I know a lot of people are trying to figure out what comes next, and does it come before 2024?
Yeah, well, there will be a lot for them to get into to finish unpacking as we get into 2023. But we do want to also speak about Brittney Griner. So when she came home earlier this month from being held captive, she many people shifted their focus to Paul Whelan, a former U.S. Marine who is still being held in a Russian detention center.
So now Griner, home, she was in San Antonio for a little bit, healthy. She is actually on a mission to free more Americans who are currently detained in Russia. In fact, she's asking her fans to write letters of support to Paul Whelan.
In an Instagram post, Griner said the letters she received while in detention helped her not to lose hope. The Biden administration said they haven't been able to secure Whelan's return because Russia treats his case differently.
All right, so Whelan currently serving 16 years in prison for espionage charges. And, you know, like you said, not only Brittney Griner doing what she can to help support Paul, but also, you know, the federal government stepping up and trying to help out. And, you know, we've heard so many people over the last few weeks saying this is a completely different situation, but right now only time will tell.
Yeah, and this is one of those stories that when she did get released, a lot of people were talking about it on social media. So if all those people, you know, step up and answer her call to send those letters, maybe he'll be getting the support that he needs.
That's true. All right, go Spurs, go. I know this is in the aftermath of a not so great game last night. They're playing again. Orlando, 6 o'clock today. That's fine. But the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame will enshrine a new class of legends next summer, and the full list of nominees from North America and, you know, women's committees, that list has been unveiled.
Yes, notable nominees include Paul Gasol. You're going to have to help me out
Pau
here.
Gasol, got you. Dirk.
Pau Gasol.
Dirk Nowitzki, Dwayne Wade, and I held the fun ones for last.
Tony Parker, Greg Popovich, and of course Becky Hammon.
Okay, so I'm upset because we don't have any of the Spurs on the screen right now, but they're coming. Thank you, Alyssa. That means that Tony, Coach Pop, and Becky could all be enshrined in the Hall of Fame in the same year.
Well, the next step for this is going to be learning the finalists, and that's going to happen. There they are, right there. That's going to happen February 17th. So I do know that that's, you know, a big thing that people are going to be waiting for, something to look forward to in the new year.
I'm going to try not to rant about each one of these, but Tony Parker, I'm just going to go side by side.
Yeah.
Starting on the left. So Tony, not only huge for the Spurs, you can't write the history of the NBA without him, but the international publicity of basketball. I mean, France, he had a great documentary on Netflix of Tony Parker. They actually go to his house in San Antonio. Coach Pop, obviously.
Yeah,
I mean, just
right.
what he did in San Antonio. And it was funny, there's an NBA TV documentary with Greg Simmons featured in it. They like interviewed Greg about Coach Pop before winning the championships.
Of course he would be.
And then Becky Hammon, who not only has been so influential in the NBA, but just won a championship with Las Vegas.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. These people, and like you said, these three have such notoriety here in San Antonio. So hopefully, I mean, one, if not all, make that finalist thing.
Yeah,
finalist category. I don't know.
I think I have a hot take.
Yeah.
All three are locks. Oh, this is a hot take camera. I like it. All three will be in the Hall of Fame, if not now, then in future years. But I got to say, this Hall of Fame class, it is amazing. Maybe I'm biased because I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, and like all these guys are the ones we grew up watching.
Yeah.
But very impressive.
Well, and the thing is too, and this may be unpopular opinion, but right now, the Spurs team, I'm sorry, but I don't know like many of the players that are currently, because all of the people that we've been watching for so long kind of moved out and on. So
we got to get you to a game. Spurs fan, is any Spur organization member watching?
No.
Get her to a game. We'll get a meet and greet with the players, you and the family. It'll be perfect.
No.
Jeremy Sohan, you can't miss him. He's got the green hair. Today he has the green hair. So
I've seen him, yes, in my
there you
in
go.
my shows.
All right, before we go, I think this is the last K&N before Christmas. Any big plans?
So we host, and we just have our family over. I find that it's easier to host whenever you're married. You don't have to travel as much. We can avoid the cold. So we host. We're going to be making some pozole and keeping everybody warm at our house. But what are your plans?
I will be in this lovely building for the next 48 hours, essentially. So anyone watching now, hot take, if you get bored, come watch KSAT. And if you have any leftovers, come bring it to KSAT. Your friends
we'll
here.
think about you.
We got friends, food, and football. What else do you need?
There you go.
All right. Well, that is it for us here. I guess see you Monday at 11.